Hi, it's me, Scott. This is a new song. Is this because we did the different... Oh, we're on the Synthwave station. I forgot. Instead of listening to that other station, oh, we listened to 12 million times. Hi, it's me. It's been a while. I know it's been so spotty. It's hard, you know, when you don't have the momentum. It's like you gotta get back on the bicycle. Remember how to ride a bicycle. I think I did all the things. I closed the bathroom door. I set the channel title. I set the stupid subtitle, which is just not even a worthwhile joke anymore, probably, but now I just feel like I have to do it. And here's the thing I didn't do, though. I did not pause Dropbox because it seems like I don't have to anymore with my faster internet connection. So how about that? I did not pick a beautiful desktop wallpaper, though, so I need to do that. Very important. Probably the most important part of the stream is having new wallpaper that I like. I thought I liked this one. I was wrong. I just have this app that grabs Unsplash wallpapers, which I would just show, but I don't like that there's a giant ad on it. Maybe if I gave them a little bit of money, I wouldn't have the ad. I don't know. Though the presumably what is the give them money button didn't work when I pushed it. So I continue to work on this VR project I've been working on for a while, and that still got some time on that for sure through the end of the year. Been working on some design projects that one of the hardest things about the work that I do is like coming up with pricing, like bids and schedules and stuff, and it's super important because it like dictates the nature of the whole project from a certain perspective. Like, it's going to take this much money and this much time to do it, but it's also like the least tangible thing, and it's kind of a guess. And so when I'm busy with a lot of projects, it's easy to sort of prioritize the things that are tangible that I'm working on elsewhere, and not maybe focus as much on that planning as I should. It's a hard balance, and I do have to say that maybe on one of these things I'm working on currently, excuse me, let me get my eyeball. I maybe didn't make the best estimates, and so a little slammed at the moment. However, ignore all that. It's all fine. It's all fine. The thing I got to think about right now, how about this wallpaper? Look at that beautiful mountain sunrise. I had a dream about mountains, now that I think about it. I was trying to take a picture of them, and I couldn't do it. So here's the thing I need to do. For upcoming installation I'm working on, that I think I can talk about and have probably talked about, but I'm paranoid about talking about any work. So there's an installation I'm working on that will have a real-time synth component. So like users of this device will be able to control the synthesizer. So similar to a lot of the work that I do, it needs to be a constrained experience where you feel like you're making music, but it still sounds good no matter what. You know, which is always a bit of a challenge, but manageable. Not that I've met that challenge super well for TwitchCon, but hey. And it needs to have a set of controls that are simple, but adhere to a certain set of parameters, which are not very complicated. But here's the problem is, over the last few years, I've gotten so Unity focused, like where basically anything I can get away with doing in Unity, I do in Unity. And that is awesome. And it's so easy for me to work that way, and so easy for me to deliver that way. A major issue, though, is that it instantly means that I need expensive hardware to run it. I mean, you just, at a minimum, you're talking hundreds of dollars, almost certainly, to put together a machine to like adequately run something built in Unity, even something relatively simple, or a few $100s or something like that. And then, you don't really want to mess with it, and so Windows is not the greatest for installations because it loves to do updates and break things like that. I love Mac Minis for installations. They're just so expensive. They're in many ways like almost the ideal installation machine, just because Mac OS is Unix under the hood. It's robust. If you don't touch it, it tends to work very well for a long time. Those machines are quiet and small and reliable and all that good stuff, and light and easy to ship and all that stuff, but they're too costly for what you get in terms of, one, they don't even really have a real GPU. Like, they tend to use the onboard. I think they all do. I don't know if there's a way to use an external GPU, maybe with a whatever those things are, eGPU enclosure. So so far that hasn't been a huge problem, because typically there's room in the budget to say like, okay, we're going to drop $700 or whatever to buy a machine for this. The problem is like, what that money adds up. So the thing I'm working on has multiple components coming up soon, and I don't want to spend like, you know, potentially thousands of dollars on new machines when they're way overkill. And and just from a maintenance perspective, it can be a problem. It's a little nicer to be able to say like this installation's far away, and it's like, oh man, if I could just send you a new thing that you could drop in, that would be great. But it's not like I'm gonna have a whole another Mac Mini. So sorry to be vague, but again, I'm slightly paranoid about talking about details of client projects. What would be great, and what I've done for many things, is a Raspberry Pi, because you can. There's lots of problems with the Raspberry Pi, and they're irritating in a lot of ways, because Linux shouldn't be used by humans generally, but they are robust, reliable, and cheap in a way that I really like. What they suck at is computer graphics to a certain extent. I mean, that's just a weak spot. They have a relatively capable GPU for very simple things, but there's like no real way to run Unity on them, because even though Unity will build for Linux, it builds for x86 Linux, and these are ARM-based machines. And last I checked, there was not an easy way to do that. There were some hacky ways to do that, like install Android on your Pi, which is like not really a well-supported thing, last I checked. And so it's this sucky thing where it's like, my favorite tool to author in is Unity, but the ideal delivery platform is probably Raspberry Pi 4, which is not going to work with Unity. So I have a couple options here. Either I just say, you know what, I've got to get started on some prototypes on this. So either I just say, you know what, I'm going to prototype in Unity. I'm going to use Audio Helm for the synth, and like, we're good. You know, like, excuse me, say that's just how it's going to be. And that's probably the shortest path to a prototype. The thing is, longer term, this particular device may not even have a screen. So Unity is a little absurd. And then the idea of having an entire Mac Mini to just run headless Unity to do some audio stuff seems pretty crazy. I mean, it's like more than an order of magnitude price difference. It's like Raspberry Pi is $35, and then a Mac Mini is $700, so it's like 20 times the price. So I've been thinking of alternate ways to do this, and alternate ways I would want to do this. And it's tricky because I probably do want a screen interface for this, but I don't know if it's worth going down that path. So anyway, summary of all of that is, I was kind of thinking in the past on these little embedded system kind of things, either I would just write something that triggers sound in Python with Pygame, which in some cases has worked pretty well, and in some cases has not worked well when like transitioning across Raspberry Pi versions. But also, I don't know why I've got some hair gravity problems today. Sorry, I keep sculpting my hair. Just want it out of my face. It was actually Beagle Bone, or whatever they're called, Beagle Bone board, whatever those are called. That Reach installation I did years ago, one of my first, really like my first big installation, was just a little embedded machine like a Raspberry Pi, but a bit more powerful, running PureData. And PureData is such a good way to have an interesting headless synth, and I had all that stuff working. The problem is, I kind of don't remember how to use it. It's definitely been a while, and it's definitely like a pretty particular world. So I don't know. I'm torn at this moment, like, because I could sit down and spend the next hour and probably knock out something like a prototype in Unity for this thing, and that would be easy to show and easy to share. And maybe I will just do that. Alternatively, I could go grab PureData and have some difficulty getting back into it. I would be pretty sure. Like, it would be a little hard to get back in. It would also be a little hard to like share this progress. Whereas with Unity, I could just do a web player version, and then anybody could, you know, the people on the East Coast that I'm working with could experiment with it. What's this thing? A monolithic distribution. PDL2.org. Oh, Linux laptop orchestra. So there's that. There's also this thing that was like PureData to C#. There was some site. What was that site called? There was some site that you could like build stuff out in PureData, and then you would upload it to the site, and then it would convert it. Am I totally misremembering this? It was a pretty interesting thing, but this was years ago. I don't even quite know what to look for. It was like, I want to say it was a website that you would upload, I want to say a PureData class to. No. I don't know. It just may not even exist anymore. I could like go dig around in old emails or something and try to find it. Is it Deccan? I don't think it was Deccan. No. Heavy. That's what it was called. Cool. So this is just a year ago. Online compiler turns any vanilla PureData patch into C source code. Oh, lame. They open sourced. Well, that's a little sad. Hasn't been touched in a year. This was a cool thing, though. So it would take... Currently unsupported. Yeah, that's a sad thing, because it was a cool deal. Yeah, but the general idea was you'd upload PureData and then get source code that you could potentially more easily use in Unity, because at that time in particular, it was such a hassle to try to use PureData in Unity, and probably continues to be. So, okay, Heavy's gone. PureData's cool. It's just such a thing, you know? It's just such its own thing, and I would have to... I think here's what I think. I think I need to rapid prototype. And to me, rapid prototype means use the tools that let you get to a functional prototype as quickly as possible. And so I think I'm gonna do the Unity version to start with, just to like validate the idea before I make it hard and embedded. And then it's probably fine. I do have a prototyping session in a few weeks, but it's probably okay that use some PCs. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna hope. So should we do a new Unity 2019 3? Got the beta installed. It's the latest beta. Beta 6, that's what I have. Should I do the beta? Kinda don't want to, but also kinda do want to. We'll start with 2019 2.1 and go from there. Okay, so let's add That didn't seem like that worked. This music's intense. Is this called this a 2D project? I suppose. I don't know about this song. Let's try a different song. Okay, building Unity project. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a step sequencer, and we're gonna trigger we'll just make four, like a 4x8 sequencer, 4 steps with 2019 2.9. That's really funny because I just on another project updated. That's funny. Come on, Unity. My computer frozen? Is this just Unity being cool? That was weird. Did the stream freeze? Seemingly okay. Okay. Okay, actually I do want to see what's up with that. 2019. Oh, come on. I'm on the 11th. We met yesterday. Interesting. Release notes. What's new? A lot of known issues. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so there's nothing that matters to me too much on this. Okay, so main thing will be how do I say show my stuff? I'm not sure this is the right idea, but sometimes you just got to start somewhere. Seems not too bad though. I feel like we can get the basics of it. We've done step sequencers before, and Helm has a lot of stuff to do that, and so I feel like it will be fine. Yeah. Let's just try this and get the basics of this just to validate it, but I do want to maybe do a stream very soon about trying to get back into PureData. I guess people still use PureData. I mean, I guess I could do it in like C-Sound or something, but if you don't use PureData, it's a node-based, like patch-based audio. It's more than just synthesis. It's like an entire audio platform almost. Okay. So I wonder why I can't hear Unity. Pause this music. Why? This is controlling properly. Is it some silly audio problem? Is it like my... I assume you've been able to hear me the whole time. I see my voice. I see that music. I am set to what would appear to be the proper audio input. But I can't even hear this. So what's the problem? Well, look at all this stuff. There's just stuff bouncing all over the place here. So why would I not be able to hear this? What? I do try to view the audio mixer. Seems like I don't see anything over here. I would see levels, right? And if I play this, oh, does it not actually show? Well, this is a good start. We're off to a good start here. Just try some other. I actually don't remember ever seeing Unity have a way to say like what audio device to use or whatever. Bouncy balls. What? No audio in the Unity editor. That's a good point. Let's try this. So that played outside. It does play inside. Unity does make sounds, so there's just something wrong with audio helm or the mixer. I mean, stuff sure looks like there's some stuff here. Camera has an audio listener. I don't recall this ever happening before, unless Audio Helm's like broken in this version of Unity. I'm trying the new dashboard. New Twitch dashboard. Feels a little crazy. Audio Helm, no audio in editor, no sound from Helm. Never had this happen before. This is a bummer, because this isn't even fancy. This isn't even... Actually, let's try that. Let's try the drums, because drum would be playing samples instead of synthesizing, I think. Why is there no mixer for this? Oh, this just picks one. Oh, this just has a million audio sources. This isn't even like... That's not even playing to a mixer. Now, why wouldn't I be able to hear that? Well, is this a sign? Is this a sign from above that I should be trying PureData instead? I mean, this is really suspicious because there's like audio there. Oh, good grief. Somehow I didn't even know there was a mute audio button here. How did I not see that? Sorry if you saw that and were yelling at your screen. I don't know that I've ever used that button before. I don't even remember that button being there, but hey, okay. Cool. Back to what? Back to this, I guess. Okay, we've got some sick beats going on. This is kind of reminding me of something annoying though, actually. That it is a little annoying in Audio Helm to switch up the synths. Like your ability to kind of like address individual columns and changes. I feel like that's a little annoying, unfortunately, actually. Because what I really want to do is have like, I think I maybe don't want to use the step sequencer. I think I really just want something that's responding to a metronome. Even though I'm building a step sequencer, that I would just choose what to play, because this doesn't actually gain me much. I'm remembering this from when we worked on Step City, that like modifying this didn't really gain me a great deal versus just like getting a metronome beat and playing. And actually, now that I think about that, in that particular way, When I think about it in that particular way, it almost makes me realize that maybe I don't need anything more complicated than a way to just play. Good, this is too loud. A way to just trigger notes in a metronome and not some more complicated step kind of thing. I'll turn on that. That'd actually be kind of hard to do in PureData, or just annoying. Like, that's one of those things with node-based things, is sometimes you just have to, feels like you have to jump through a lot of hoops that you wouldn't necessarily have to jump through otherwise. These dots always have little subdots on them. So from that perspective, actually just like a Python-y thing, well, not exactly, because I do need effects. And actually, so another thing that I would kind of like to use is Tone.js, but last time I tried web audio with Node on Raspberry Pi, it sucked. It just was not good. So, but this reminds me, so so one of the things I need is like a certain set of like post effects. So like Unity has some. Oh, I'm sorry. That was horrible. That was super horrible. I think distortion. You know what I want. Overdrive, maybe? That sounded really bad. I apologize. So like in this way, you'd almost want you need a way to mess with the synth itself, which also feels like a little bit of a hassle. Did Tone.js have distortion? Maybe the real answer is to do this in Tone.js. Yeah, tone.distortion. You'd like connect it to distortion and then have like a wet dry. Is this the real answer? Is the real answer to use Tone.js all along? Could I reasonably use that on a Raspberry Pi? Okay. I think I have a new answer to this question. That's good. That's good. So like there was a third path that was just right. There was a third path right in front of my face. And I'm going to try that third path. I'm going to try Tone.js. I'm going to take a very short break and I'll be right back. Please excuse me. Okay, just thinking a little more about this, feeling a little better about it. Also, I do have another thing coming up that I just wonder about this. This may be, I don't know, this may be unreasonable. Actually, oh, too bad. True? I don't know if that's true. That was several years ago. I don't know how fast this stuff is. So I do need to do some fast real-time emotion detection stuff. Probably I do need an actual PC for that, though. I'm gonna just guess. And I need a more substantial machine, but maybe not. Why are these their examples? I just don't trust this just because those are the examples. Okay, so yeah, here's what we're gonna do. I don't know if it's a good plan or not, but we're gonna try it. Okay. Something like this. Let's see. So we really do want to just steal borrow. Some borrow some heat like stuff. Excuse me. Oh, I don't need that. You got tone. We don't need this. Excuse me. Just trying to get going. Really, that was extra effort for nothing. Really, I just wanted this URL, which I could have gotten in another way, but whatever. I was gonna do something stupid, like try to stick a extra extension. Okay, so now if we do blips and clips, how's it going? I am working on a new sequencer project for an installation, and I've been wavering on how I want to execute it, but now I think I have a path forward, at least for the prototype. How are you? So I don't know how much of this stuff I even want to deal with. Like, I need to do all this kind of stuff again. All this, like, oops. That's not true. It's It's this tone sequence and trigger column. Yeah, and then we did all this stuff. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me. This got to be definitely a bit of a mess. But let's just do this for now. Is that the thing? Go. Okay, so we need a couple things here. We need, this is really probably the main thing, is this sequence, and then whatever callback it is gonna do. So maybe I should just already just start doing this right. Or like something approaching right. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna call something like this. I forgot that. Does it just look like this in here? I forgot like the conventions of the whole notion of having classes in JavaScript is still relatively new, at least in my mind it is. And like what the conventions are. Oh yeah, it's just straight up constructor for this. And then additional methods, I think, tend to be lowercase. Do you have to say function inside? Or do you not have to? Can you please add some more methods here? Calc area, no. And lowercase, and there are getters. Okay, so then we'll have something like trigger step, which will be like time and index. And then the thing is though, this whole like, this thing, but I think we just do 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for now. And then to start that machine, almost certainly missing some steps here, but hey. Console. Okay, we have a thing that counts now. That's terrific. Something like a metronome. So now we want to just play some notes, probably, right? And so that is, we need a synth. And I did that in a silly way, but let's just do this for now. Simple sine wave. And then when we want, it's like trigger attack or something. Trigger attack release. And I want to say Well, I think we can just do like C4 here. Okay. Great. So then we kind of want to say the major notes will be got to think about this. I think we can do MIDI frequencies. Let's see. I mean, MIDI note numbers. And don't have to do frequencies, but maybe we do need to do frequencies. I thought you could do like, can be a number. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Is there like a MIDI to? I just want a MIDI value. I just want like a. What would be nice is if I could do that trigger attack release with just a MIDI number, yeah, like of 60. So how do we do that? But can I actually? And you are making this way too complicated. This looks like. So what is a note here? Is tone pattern what I want? I don't think it is. This shouldn't be this hard. It should just be. Okay, this is what I want. Because then I can just do MIDI. Cool. Oh, that's cool. So this will give you an array. So if I say like A4, creates an array of semitone intervals and returns an array of frequencies. So this is actually kind of exactly what I want. Where I can put in a bass note and then, yeah, cool. Cool. So, it's like, say for example, that we just do C4, and then the 0, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th is probably what I want. Is that true? No, like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like A4 to C5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3 would be here. Yeah. So we don't want that. We want, that would be E minor. So really we want, that doesn't sound right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that the thing? And then this is 3, 7, 11. Right? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this would be a C major 7 and a C minor 7, I believe. I believe that is the truth. So now what? For now, let's just randomly pick a note. And we'll just say, what do we do? A sequence of 8. We just need 8 random 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So like, so basically we use this index here and then use that index here, and then that will be our note. So like let note equal whatever, step values index, and then let's start with just major notes index, and then let's play this note, and it should just go up a C major 7 scale. No, that was wrong. Here, starting at C4. Now if we make it minor, a little bit of a click. You hear that? I don't like it. Why would that be? Guess the very end of those get clicked, even though it's an 8th note or 8 note steps. Could just make this the octave. Okay. Well, you should probably add a way to start and stop this. Okay, so cool. This is the thing that will get set outside in the world. Like, this needs to be more like, okay, cool. So what I need is an easy way to I just like learn about all these effects. This can come back. Oh, they're all in the API? I wanted just like a list of effects. Okay, That could be funny. Bit Crusher sounds cool. Might be a good way to do distortion. A Chevy Chev wave shaper. I don't know what that is. Like, I kind of... A little disappointing there's not just demos of... What are you? Maybe there is examples of effects. That was loud. Sorry. Why is everything so loud? Is it just because desktop audio is higher than it should be? Let's drop this down to 52. That better? Still very loud. That's not what I want though. I want effects like distortion, do they not? Whoa. Chevy Chev. Okay, well that's handy to know, actually. Okie dokie. Reverb spatialization. It's kind of lame that there's not just more demos. We've heard the Shubishev. Convolver. Reverb and filter, distortion. Feedback. Like, do we just have to make... Well, let's start with one, I guess. Although now I kind of want to use sends. Use buses. Buses make it easy to share effects across many instruments. Send audio to a named bus from an instrument, then receive that channel on your effect. But how do you do that with multiple things and still have them like chain? Cool. Super cool. Send. Oh, Tone.js, you're good, but you're also irritating. Is that not the latest docs or something? Well, it's annoying. But the documentation for that just doesn't exist. I went to examples, and I went to buses, and I said, take me to the documentation for send or receive, and it is a 404. Well, heck. Pretty weird. Well, What am I supposed to do then? That's dumb. Does that mean that's a thing that's not real, or like what? I don't quite know what to do about that then. I mean, I guess I can just have my effects kind of chain through, I guess, and then just set. I suppose that's all I really want. Oh, it's one of these. Is it called channel now? Channel strip interface. Cool. Okay, whatever. So let's do I guess just pick one of these. So we want to connect that. I guess this is how we're going to do it, is like we'd make our effects and then okay, so for example, like presumably I could separately say who I wanted to go to master. So like say we do this stuff first. Don't send you, oh, don't send the synth to master is the thing actually, not the sequencer. Maybe like in here, and then instead of doing this, we could do something like that. Of course not. Influences the effect of the wah. Cannot think about this without thinking about Waluigi. Is this actually playing through here? Is this right? Yes. Doesn't seem very... a lot of an effect. These are more examples. Tremolo, not tremolo. What's your problem? This one doesn't work? Intel generate. Oh, I see. Whatever. Let's do Freeverb then. Whoa. Oh, bit crusher. It's getting so angry. Distortion. Doesn't seem very distorted. The overall volume of this to something very low. Or is that the synth? Already is very low. I feel like Bit Crusher was doing better for us. It's still so loud. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's insanely loud. I apologize. That's too much. Yeah, but maybe I can put like a compressor on it so it never gets that loud. And do I just connect the compressor like I connect to anything? I'm like, connect effect A to the compressor and then connect the compressor to master. Still too loud. Still too loud. Okay, sorry, I need another moment. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Excuse me, please. Hello, it's me again. So thinking about next steps on this. What do we want to do? Kind of not like getting the I want a limiter instead of my whole, what I actually need. Okay, sorry, this is probably gonna be loud again. Kind of interesting that lowering the bit depth that much, like, makes it so loud. Almost certainly just not understanding something here. I actually would like to send, like, the bus stuff to work. That would be cool. It seems to exist, maybe? No, that's the example. Oh, send is on Tone. Or at least it is now. Interesting. Okay, so how do I do this? How does it actually work? Like, how does reverb become a thing that I can talk to? Or I just make it up? Like I just put in a word and then it, as long as I consent to it, I can... Okay, I think I understand that. I don't know if I like it, but I think I understand it. But maybe it's time to like actually do some stuff. Just do this for now. It's so quiet. Didn't have like detuning, right? Didn't we have that in the synth? Yeah, detune. Oh, sorry. change or click exact, like how does this actually work? I don't want on change though. I want the like what's our normal thing for this? Like if it was a click, it would be, yeah, add event listener click. Can you do add event listener like change? Yeah. So we made, sure. This thing. Why is there not an example of this? Why would you not just have... It's kind of weird. Yeah, I want this nonsense. So we just need some of these, I guess. What's the label after? I guess as long as you say label for. Okay, so I mean, in general, we just want. Actually, that's a good question. Will they give like a float value between? If I did something like this, that was whatever, call it volume. Now I would want some kind of remappy thing probably, but whatever. So if we just said, for now, let's just do what do they call you? And then do that doesn't look like a float. So I have to do 0 and 100 and then remap it? That'd be kind of annoying. I'd rather it just be... What if I make it look like a float? Will that trick it? No, cannot trick it. Lame. Okay, and then what was that? Excuse me. What's the parameter? Is there no parameter? You're killing me. Oh, but I don't have a this if I do it this way. It's not, there's no parameter? That's kind of lame. Event.target.value. That's only on release, so is that person saying that instead of change I want it on input? Yeah. Okay. Not C#. Oops. Okay, I got a normalized value here. Just terrific. So I kind of want, I wish it was just a super high level volume, like the total highest volume. Like not per, like master volume basically. Instrument.chain through volume to master. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So let's just ignore this stuff for a minute. And then we could presumably do things like this. So then what I would kind of want to do, I need a remap though. I need to be a way to like remap. So the value okay, gotta think about this for a second. I need to pause the music to use my brain for a second. Maybe not. It's one of those functions I've written a trillion times. I just wish was always available. So we want value minus nmin divided by nmax minus nmin. So this is our like, which we're already really doing this, but just for the sakeness of a complete function. So we're getting rid of nmin, and then we're basically saying this out of that. Then we need outmax minus outmin times the normalized value plus in outmin. So then we could say, if we chose, we could say this dot volume equals remap value from 0 to 100 to negative whatever, negative 48 to negative 6. and then something like that. Remap, not that. This dot remap. I'm doing a bad job. Oh yeah. Oh, we need this. Ugh. Well, no, because it's actually going to be like this dot volume, right? This dot volume. It's pretty silly. So this really should be like this volume node or something like that. Still not happy? We're definitely going through this chain, right? Do I have to update it in some alternate way? Oh, no, volume mode to volume. Good grief. JavaScript lets you just do nonsense like that. Volume is read-only. Cool. So I... That's the initial volume. Useful for creating a volume fader. It's not a very useful volume fader if am I crazy here? Volume is read only. What? Dot value. Oh, they have a little hoo-ha on them. Okay. Got it. Makes a little more sense. Although, what did this other person say according to the docs? Change volume on master, but it would be the same thing. So I don't know that I gained anything here, but... Okay, so we now have the ability... That'll at least help a little bit when I make something loud and painful. Pardon me. So back to effects. My good friend Shibbershuv. Kind of weird. S is capitalized here, lowercase here, lowercase here. Oh, excuse me. Connect to our Chebby. Yeah, this is what seems important, is this wet dry. So let's just make a Chebby. Cheb. And then we will chain through the Shibshev. Okay, and then we can so now I guess we need, like, if we did and then we did something like I'm just going to call it like effect A because I'm sure we're going to mess with this. And then we will say, and we can come up with some better way to do this, but for the moment, and this one we actually don't even need a remap because it looks like wet dry is 0 to 100. Let's see. No, it's 0 to 1, so we do need a remap. 0 to 1. Effect A dot wet dot value. So let's rename our Shibshov. I broke it. Oh yeah, because we didn't want to change you. Nailed it. Oops. What's a little weird is like the chaining of these, and I guess that's where we'd have to decide if we wanted channels. Like we're gonna have multiple effects. Do we really want to have them sequentially or in parallel? I guess sequentially. Okay, so now let's do. Let's not do this for a second. I'll just think for a minute about what we want to do next. We do need to stop streaming pretty soon. At least feel good like we were starting something, getting something going. what do I want to call these? Because in fact, step values is not right. It's sort of like steps and cells. Yeah, the number of steps, the number of cells. I don't know. I've waiver on this naming. Build trid. I'm gonna go steps first. Control. So we like need to make a row container, or like a column container. And then in here, excuse me? No? Oh, not 0. 8. 0 is a bad way to loop over something. If you want it to happen at all. 8 by 4. Steps. Okay, we just can't do this anymore. Like, we gotta get some JavaScript accountability here. We need some strict. What is the syntax for that? Use strict. Use. A little accountability. I don't know if I did that right. I'm gonna say no. It's also this .build grid. That was the whole problem. Okay, now we got these. That's great. We gotta add classes to them. Step. Cell. Is it mad because this classes don't actually exist, or? What are you so mad about? What did I do wrong? Well, that's how you did that. Oh yeah, that's not right. Good grief. Of course it's not going to work. Okay, now I got these, and they say some stuff, and it'll be, now we just got to do some whatever. Where that's not big enough. That would be silly, you tiny little cell. Okay, that didn't really. I mean, it kind of worked. I want those vertically laid out though, which is a little annoying, and then we want those horizontally laid out. Oh yeah, that whole thing. We did it with pint percentages last time. Okay, something like that. Okay, I apologize. I need a moment yet again. Be right back. I apologize for the frequent breaks. So, what are we doing? Oh, we're trying to make a dumb grid. Yeah, this whole dumb thing. Should we just, okay, let's just try it. Let's just do it. Try the CSS grid. Oh, yeah, I need rows and columns. I need columns. Like, what's a way to do this? Is it to treat it like two separate things, which seems counterintuitive because then it's not a grid anymore? You know what I mean? Like, to just say, I'm going to deal with the columns, and then I'm going to deal with the rows. But that seems silly. Grid template columns. Like, the thing is, I want to explicitly think about rows and columns. Like, I want them contained. Are there better examples of this? Do I just need two nested grids? Like that this is going to say display grid, and I want like vertical columns one way and horizontal columns the other way, like so it would almost be like, I think I do need to treat it like two grids because I want two things. I kind of want both of these to be, no. You know what I mean? I want like a nested grid because I do want some level of hierarchy. I just don't understand grid very well at all. Like, what if I just cram this in here just to start, just to say, like, just to see something. Perfect. This is totally terrific. Thing is, I want this one to be rows. Is that like a thing you can do? Almost. Like, that kind of worked. Like, this kind of worked. Like, these individual things have individual. Yeah, that's what I want. So why didn't this work right? These need to be an inline grid. Oh, come on, that was a good guess. Oh, sorry, forgot. Switch here. You didn't miss anything. I need Life is Yours to help me with this. Is Life is Yours online? He's been working with this nonsense. Okay. Oh, what does one FR mean? Flex. Okay, flex, sure. He didn't have to do inline. What's the difference here? Top of the chain. Not quite what I want. Like, I kind of just want to ignore these for a second and just say, like, what if this was just a thing? Oh, is it because I did this? Not really. Like, sort of just want to say, pretend like cells don't exist. And we just have this. What is it? Min height? Is that the right syntax? I can't remember. So, like, why are these full width? And then what? So, like, why? Why is it deciding to make rows and not columns? Like, I want just none. I just don't want any rows. Just guessing at this point. Okay. Like, I want you to just do whatever, as many as it takes. HCH, what weird things. Auto fit? Is that what I want? Is that like... I'm just missing something here. Oh, I can run ads now. Weird. I have a button to do that. Run a 1-minute ad. I should do that when I'm called away. Like, what's making you decide to only fit 2 things? Like, I want you to just all fit. Like, what do I do? Just don't. I don't want you to have rows. I don't think this is. I'm just kind of guessing here. Like, presumably, like, what does CH even mean? Fit content. Subgrid. No. I'm just guessing. Excuse me, sorry. I feel like this is what I want, or it's like... I just want to autofill, like no parameters, just as many as you can. Am I missing something? Of course I'm missing something, but what is the thing I'm missing? I guess that's all I need to do is just put like... This is annoying though. I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to have a specific number. But yeah, you always have 12. Annoying. Okay, let's just ignore that for the moment. Go back to having a thing. Okay, that's a lot of undo. Pretty lame. this end up like this? Does this matter? No. Cool. Okay, we did it. Well, that was annoying. For sure. Not really what I want still. I don't want these numbers hard-coded here. I just want to say, like... It's crazy. It's the thing I want. I just want, like, cram everything into a single column. Is that crazy? Everything I want is just not what this is for, but it seems kind of crazy that there's like not a way to say just do it. I mean, maybe it's just all wrong. Maybe I just shouldn't be. Okay, well, I don't want to get hung up on this. It just seems silly that there's not an easier way to do this. However, let's do some stuff. Yo. Is it active? Oops. Okay, now we can click things. Terrific. We still got to do the whole deal. This is what's going to update our little step friend. We kind of want to, by default, say that the last thing is active, or we just want to say no, that we can have like the idea of -1 means that there's nothing. Okay, so this is kind of annoying. There's just lots of little finicky pieces. Okay, so anyway, as we make these, my microphone's in my way of these keys that are not type well enough to touch type. Guess I could pull my keyboard a little closer, push the mic a little further, perhaps. Do what now? So cell div.dataset dot step equals I, cell div.dataset dot cell equals j. Should have done this on the other things. We don't have to iterate through. We can just know, like, always know exactly which cell was clicked and which step. Okay, so now we can do this thing. We can say, play this. We're not even going to worry about highlighting things for the moment. We're going to do this. It's going to be great. So whenever this gets clicked, we will be able to say step values step equals cell. Okay. That's pretty handy. So now we want to, I was going to start out very silly. We won't remove these, but let's just try cell dot style list dot add enabled. Is that what I called that? What's it called? Oh, sorry, class list, not style list. So definitely doing this wrong, or it's not important enough. It's a little weird because I thought higher specificity. Can you do this? Yeah, that's higher specificity. So now we need to like iterate through the whole row and turn off everything before we do that, which is slightly annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. Like element at or index of, or like how do we know the child nodes? That's the thing. So we can make the assumption, I think, that main dot child nodes no, stop it. No. What? Not the right shortcut? Apparently not. Why does this take so much room? I don't like it. Anyway, remember if that's an array. That's weird. Child nodes. Is that not right? The main div, is that where we crammed all these things? Should be a child of the container, which is you, your child nodes, and that index. Why don't you have any children? Wait, you say you have 0. Do I have something else wrong inside my main div? Nothing else in here. And the 0th thing appears to be you. What's your whole deal? Oops. Oh, somehow like the text. Oh, there's like a dumb space or something. Cool. That's really cool. That blank space counted. I mean, this does admittedly feel a little bit shaky. So now we need to loop through these child nodes. I'm only using K because we're like technically kind of in a loop. Sort of. It already has I and J. Yeah, and then I already know the cell div. Right? Well, I know the one I clicked, but I need to know all of them. That's the whole problem here. And then we're just gonna remove it from everybody first. I think it's removed. I don't know about this. Cell is not defined. Have enabled. So what have I done? Gets removed and then added there. Cell enabled. Did I like accidentally undo my? I did. Screw you up. Okay. Something I'm not really doing. A phone call. Okay, pardon me, please. Let me stop this. And do what? And excuse me, please. Sorry, it's ridiculous. I know. 2.5 hour stream, and I've already taken like 11 breaks, but you know, there's life problems, body problems. It's all problems. Okay, so what were we even doing? We made a synthesizer that currently doesn't tell you what step it's on. And we just wrote this stuff, which is pretty silly. That's not the worst. It's just, it's a little silly. This like have to go through and deactivate a whole row, but I don't, or whole column, but I don't have a great alternative to that. So we can do that. We can do this. It would sure be helpful to see the whole thing. And so what do we need to do? We need to let's do some stuff here. We kind of want to just say start with zeros, which will be all the way across the top. But instead of that, say that like that's kind of lame. We really want it to be like -1 or something. And then we just want to say here that if say like if basically the idea being that we're going to say -1 is off and then everything's going to start at -1, I think. No, something like that. It's a good song. I did make this mono synthy, which I think is the right answer. Just realizing that. Okay, so what do we want to do next? We could do a way to clear. We could do a way to like indicate what's happening. That's this whole draw thing. So that was another big part of the whole heat sequencer was that we wanted to schedule a draw. And in this case, we did refresh grid. Oh, that's probably here. I mean, I know I'm kind of like rewriting a lot of heat here, but hey. Yeah, this was like just go through everywhere. Oh yeah, that would have been one way to do it, huh? Oh, excuse me. Is to not even mess with the grid when we click and just set some kind of flag. That's not quite as good because I feel like then it doesn't update fast enough. Okay, but if it was when we do the trigger, we just schedule like, hey, we want to do some drawing in here. And then inside that, we like go through kind of loop through all those and then remove. So active is kind of a weird one to use, but maybe I should just use active instead of enabled. Okay, so I think I just prefer that. No, it's a little bit ambiguous there. So we'll have a step, and then we'll also have a step.active.cell. That is background. We're just gonna have a lot of things here. Purple. Dot step dot active dot cell, and then we're gonna say that when we do this draw, I don't love this, but I feel like we sort of have to. It's gonna be kind of this. No, it's gonna be even sillier, but it's gonna be kind of, we're gonna get, okay, let's just, okay, so we're gonna do, we're gonna iterate through these. I was having trouble with for each, so I'm just not gonna do it. We're gonna go through each of these. And first say, so index is the step we're on. So if I is equal to index, do we really even know that here? This is a weird, I feel like we don't. I kind of feel like we need to pass it, but oh, this is a pretty weird one. Like if this index is available here, I don't know. Sort of feels like it shouldn't be, but maybe it is. It's a weird thing. There it is. That's pretty weird. That works, but it's cool. Okay, so we just want to say if if index is I, meaning we're on our dude, else stepdiv.class list.add active. No, you're remove. This one's add. So are we doing this and we just can't see it because it's not important enough? Yeah. So it should really be any active cell. No, this is not right. This has to be like this. And then do you have to be important then? No. Okay. Well, the main thing that's missing here is a so what we do is when we do the step, when we click, you know, we mess with step div here. Now here, step value. So one thing would say is we need like another mapping here, which is like a little weird, but maybe not the worst thing. So if this was like 5 and this annoyingly was 5, probably gonna cause an error. And then we have like a mapping that says like 0 is -1. Like, that's pretty, I don't love that. Alternatively, when we make the cells, we could say they should start at -1, like here, basically. You'd start at -1. So now when you click this, all these dudes are the same as not being on. Which is a little weird. I think it actually, let's do it the other way. Let's say that these really are indices, but then when we go, when we actually set our value, which is here, it would be -1, or really maybe 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, then -1, and then bottom would be off, essentially. And then if I click down here, these will be off. That feels okay. So I'd want those to like start as active. Alternatively, it could like look at those values and set them. So when we do the draw, I was about to say, like, we could have this in addition to this looping draw, in addition to dealing with like where the step is, also decide what's active or not, but I don't know exactly like that. But then it's like always correct, sort of. So alternatively, we would need to go through and say like if like something like if j is equal to cells minus 1. So it's the last one. And then we do cell div dot class list dot add active. Yeah, These are amazing colors I've chosen. So that's cool. In fact, I could just do this. I don't know if I love it, but it's something. Okay. That's roughly 3 hours. We made something like a sequencer. We have something kind of like... Where did that... When you just hit refresh, it doesn't refresh these sliders. Like if I just hit refresh here, it seems like a bug. I'm refreshing the page. Why wouldn't it refresh these? But if I command shift to refresh, it does. If I click refresh, it doesn't. If I control refresh, oh, because is one of those opening new windows? Command shift R? No, that's just a straight up command R. Oh, sorry, control R or control shift R. It's kind of weird that it would leave slider values not where they're supposed to be. Let's add one more slider for tempo, and then maybe we call it for today. Let's leave it 0 to 100 since we have to remap other stuff anyway. This will say like 60 to 120, maybe. Is it BPM? I don't remember. Sequence. Okay, what is it actually? The tone transport where I'm supposed to set the tempo? Oh, tone.transport.bpm.value. Okay, that. Okay, well, we got some kind of start on something, right? I'll figure out exactly where I want to put this and host it and all that stuff. That's fine. Okay. I think this is gonna work out. I think it is. It's putting kind of a lot of faith in. Kind of putting kind of a lot of faith into a browser running on a Pi, but yeah, you know, think about it. So what it probably ends up being is like a Pi. Can you have like headless Chrome? Is that a thing? don't really need to render anything. Headless Chrome is shipping in Chrome. So it's way to run the Chrome browser in a headless environment without Chrome. Do I get audio? Headless Chrome audio. Because if it did web audio, that'd be pretty cool. Headless Chrome web audio. I don't see anything definitive immediately. Anyway, yeah, that could be an interesting thing. So maybe I'll play with that one day too. But I'm done for today. Sorry for all the breaks, but I need another break. So have a lovely rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.